Hello there, Stephanie Kemmerman, the Stock Whisperer, here with this week's Dark Pool Weekly Whisper for December 31st, the last weekly whisper that I will be doing for 2018. And let me just say, it was a fantastic year. In fact, the last whisper I did was the best one of the entire year, December 17th. Record 280% ROI if you had taken all of these whisper stocks, and 128 targets were hit. Yeah, 128 targets. Wow, volatility to the max. Obviously, we're not going to take every one of these stocks. I can't take them all, but I had some really phenomenal trades. If you were in my trading room, you were trading AMD. That was a fantastic one on the short side. I went through that trade in my workshop, Simple Strategies. For those of you that were in December 13th's workshop, I went through the whole run of how to trade AMD rolling options. And then guess what? It happened. And we were rolling them for a long time, actually. And XLU, that was my favorite short. It had seasonality. It had those massive 4 million prints. And wow, huge ROI, 5%. Now, if you're trading the stock, the ROI is going to be different than the options. So while these stocks made 280% ROI, we easily made that on one trade, trading options. So it's exponential. We love options, but again, if you're just a stock trader, then that was pretty good as well. All right, so let's go to this week's. I didn't do one last week because it was Christmas, so Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everybody, and also Happy New Year. Yeah, we got New Year's Eve coming up. Don't mess it up, you guys. We have one more trading day of the year. If you had a great year, just take Monday off, okay? Maybe not. I can't take a day off of trading. So I'm going to make it up to you, right? So we didn't have a whisper last week, but we did have a lot of great trades. But I did extra whispers for you. Also, our Dark Pool app, the private feed. Apple finally approved. We're just waiting for them to put it in the Apple Store, and that should be this week. Fingers crossed. Android is a lot faster. Again, I had two choices. One, not post anything, okay, until everything was uploaded and updated, and you guys would have missed out on a lot of great trades, or post everything for free. So look, you know, Merry Christmas. For those of you that do not have the Dark Pool app yet, and hopefully you see the value in it and you'll sign up this year. So let's start. Let's start with the SPY. Yeah, the SPY. Very interesting Dark Pool prints came in this week, you guys. You know, I monitor every single day, and we definitely got a really big level down here at 234 and change, I think 31 cents, 23 million. And that was the biggest level that we've had in a very long time. So as soon as I started to see that, I started tweeting like a maniac. And I hope you guys caught that run. You know, it was great in our trading room. We captured the short side. And then as soon as we started seeing late Dark Pool buy prints coming in, massive levels on the SPY, on the Qs, and we saw some ETFs that I'm going to go over that had major stocks in them. Huge prints were coming in. So the big question is the correction over? Everybody wants to know that. I can't tell you that, but I can tell you what levels to go long and what levels to go short. And again, I don't know what prints are going to come in Monday, but when they come in, I am going to let you know if there's anything big, any massive level. I don't call them out every single day. I do call out the levels, but I only call out the really important stuff. So this week, this 250 level is so key. All right, this is very important. I'm going to be bullish above, and I'm going to be bearish below 245. All right, those are key levels to watch on the SPY. Let's go to the Russell. This week, had a little bit of an up thrust on Fridays, so I'm going to be bullish if we can break above 135, another key level. $5 increment levels are the strongest. Bearish below 132. And the Qs, we had a lot of big dark pool activity on the Qs. And we're going to be bullish above 155, and I'm going to be bearish below 152. And I put all my targets here on the sheet for you. Now, we did have an interesting print related to the Qs on SQQQ. Now, I don't want you to trade this. This is not a great vehicle to trade. It's the Ultra Pro short for the QQQs. It goes down when the QQQs go up, and it goes up when the QQQs go down. It is a decaying instrument, okay? But we had a big print on it, 500,000, which is unusual, at $16.95. So I'm going to watch this, but I'm going to trade the Qs. Okay, that's how you definitely want to do it. So if SQQ breaks above 1750 area, that's going to be bearish for the Qs. I'll buy puts. And if it breaks below 1650, that's going to be bullish for the QQQs, and I'll buy some calls. So that's how I'm going to trade that. So let's go on to the DIA, the Dow Jones ETF. And we're going to be bullish this week above 230.250, and we're going to be bearish below 229. And the VIX had a great trade on Friday. Wow, so quickly too. We have this upthrust. Yeah, this is a Wyckoff upthrust. Beautiful Wyckoff upthrust, right? It's a false breakout through a major level, which is 50. 50 is a major level. Looks like it's breaking out. The sellers come in, knock it down. It's got that big wick, and it has a lot of big volume right here. And then the next day, we have a test of that 50 level on smaller volume, and that is a Wyckoff upthrust, and that's a bearish pattern at the top here on the VIX. So I had bought some really cheap, out of the money, 45 puts in my trading room, and they 100% ROI in just an hour, which was really great. So how are we going to trade the VIX? Well, normally it is a decaying instrument, especially if we are in contango. We have been in backwardation, right? So when we're in backwardation, the VIX will go up the hill, but normally it won't stay there very long, and we'll go back into contango, and that's when we just roll down the hill. So every time the VIX pops up, you want to buy puts. So there are key levels I'm watching. I'm only going to be bullish above 50 because that's where the sellers came in, the upthrust. If we close above 50, then we could go higher on that. But I am going to be bearish on fear below 47.50. We'll have a retracement trade most likely down, and we'll see what prints come in. All right, so that's how I'm going to trade that. Let's go to gold. So we had a 1.9 million print that came out on iShares Gold Trust, IAU. Now, I don't trade IAU because it is very slow. Yeah, and so don't do it and complain to me, you know, that you traded it. It's very slow, okay? But it's at such a key old dark pool level, you guys. This 1224. Okay, you see I drew a trend line here back in July. Yeah, and it even goes further than that. This is a really key level, and we got a big print at 1220. So I'm watching this 1224. As long as we stay above that, the next big level up is 1255 for the IE. That was a big sell area way back. All right, so I would expect resistance there, but I like to trade GLD and GDX. So GLD clearly stronger than GDX. I'll bring up that chart in just a second. We did have some dark pool activity that's way below us. So moving forward, if you're not in gold yet, 121. I'll be bullish above that, and bearish only below 119.50. Then we'll be below recent prints that came in. I do have targets of 122, 122.50. And if we can go even higher than that, I'll tell you what, I'm going to even go to 124. Yeah, we're also at a major resistance level on gold futures. If we could break above that, that's going to be big. So definitely key levels to watch. Let's go to GDX. So you can see GDX not as strong as GLD. Where GLD closed really at its high, this minor stock is definitely showing more weakness. And that varies. You know, sometimes the miners are stronger and sometimes they're weaker. So when you're going long, go with the strong one. Go with GLD. If we're going to go short, go with GDX, okay? So we're going to be bullish, though, on GDX above 21 and bearish below 2025. All right, so that's GDX. Let's go to oil. A lot of prints on oil. So what I've done this week also is combine last week's prints. 2 weeks. So I have 2 weeks of prints that I'm using to combine to do this whisper. So USO had a massive 4 million print, not this past week, but the week before. 4 million, $9.79. And coincidentally, that is where the 8 exponential moving average is. So if we can break above that, I am going to be very bullish for USO. 10 really, I like it above 10. However, I'm going to be bearish below 950 for USO. So watch that. Also, we had unusual prints on the Vectors Oil Services ETF, OIH. Yeah, whenever we get prints on this, it has really big moves. Okay, doesn't normally have prints every week, but every once in a while it'll pop up in my whisper, so pay attention. We had a 967,000 share print at 1422, and we had a 700,000 share print at 1415. So we're going to be bullish above 1450 and we're going to be bearish below 14. Now let me just explain something a little bit about the dark pool. So any big trade that's being done in the market is being done in the dark pool. Why? Because people would be foolish not to do it in this alternative exchange. There's a lot of benefits. They have great commissions, they get better fills, but the most important thing is they don't have to report one single share being bought or sold until the entire order is filled. And that is why they do it. So there's one big guy on one side, and there's a lot of smaller guys like us on the other. And the big guy is not showing his hand until he's completely done. And that is this big block trade, okay? Now, we have real-time prints, and we have late dark pool prints. It's the late ones across the major indexes, the SPY, the Russell, the Qs, and the DIA that I pay the most attention to. This is how I've called the last 13 out of 13 corrections. I'm not psychic, there's a pattern, and it's all involved in these late 24-hour prints, because normally they have 3 hours to report. But there's a loophole, and if they cross their trade across the desk, across the ocean, if Goldman Sachs does a trade in their New York office and they cross that trade with their London office, they don't have to report them for 24 hours, okay? And that's what we saw the other day on the SPY. 23 million shares. That's billions of dollars, you guys. Late reported. All day long they were coming in. That's so illegal, but it happens. And again, we can profit off this manipulation, which is what we did. So there are different kinds of dark pool prints. So for the most part, we're trading off the real-time prints where the price is pretty close to where the print is. You know, and it takes them a couple hours to get that trade done. You'll see some accumulation or a distribution for a couple hours, and then we'll see the big block trade. A lot of times we can see the order getting filled in the ECN book. They're refreshing, and then we'll see it a couple hours later. There's that huge trade where they were refreshing. All right, so let's move on. Just want to explain that a little bit for those of you that are new. PBR, we had prints not this past week, the week before. 1.8 million, 1265. It hasn't moved much, which I love. It's getting ready to go. We're going to be bullish above 1325. And we're going to be bearish below 1250. Let's go to XOP, oil and gas, ETF. We had recent prints, $27.89, $27.99. So really close area, about 3 million. So I'm going to be bullish above 28. okay, 28. And I'm going to be bearish below 26 for XOP. Let's go to the bank stocks. This was my favorite this week. I was trading Bank of America. So you can look at the chart. Go look at Friday. And you'll see that Bank of America was trading right in tandem with the SPY. You know, the options on the SPY were pretty pricey, and they were expecting a pretty big move on them. The IV was inflated, and I find it to be complicated for me to take advantage of that. So I personally will find stuff that's not inflated, that they're not expecting a big move. And the only way to do that is to find stocks that have big prints on them. And that was Bank of America. We had massive prints that came in at 22.87, 23.43, and 24.52. So after I spotted that first print, 22.87, and we also had prints on XLF, which I posted out. Just very slow to trade XLF, so I prefer Bank of America. Once we had those prints, I jumped on Bank of America, and it was just like trading the SPY. The options were much cheaper. You just do a few more contracts, but it was amazing, an amazing trade, and I don't think it's over. So let's see what happens this week. But bullish above 24.75. I spotted them selling there, like refreshing on the offer. They kept putting an offer out for 24.75, and as soon as it was getting executed, they were adding more to the offer side, adding more, and that's when I exited. Okay, my last calls. Whenever you see that, it means they have a lot more to sell than what they want to show us. So you want to just get out of there. So that's why that's a key level this week. If they're not selling there anymore, I will become bullish again on Bank of America. So bullish above 24.75, bearish below 24. The reason I picked 24 is it's below the 8 exponential moving average. So if we do break down, then we'll most likely come back and test those prints again, which is a popular pattern. I'll go and retest those prints. So a retracement to the prints. I think that could be the trade this week if we break below these bear levels, okay, that I've been posting out. So let's go to Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo, we had a print on that at 46.20. So I'm going to be bullish above 46.50 and bearish below 45. That's a really key level. Let's go to JP Morgan. Lots of prints on JP Morgan. And again, it's definitely a pricier stock. And even the options are pricier. And that's really why I prefer Bank of America. Favorite bank stock. But I will watch the levels on all of these other bank stocks. You know, when they're all lining up perfectly, like all breaking above the bullish above level, that's great confirmation. When they're all breaking below the bearish below levels, great confirmation on the short side, right? So that's the key, combining everything together. But I will just pick my favorite one, okay? So JP Morgan, we're going to be bullish above 98. Tons of prints came in. And you see on the here it says DP, that's where all the dark pool levels are. And then I'm going to be bearish below 94. Yeah, way down there. It really has to break below that level for me to turn bearish. And let's go to Citibank. Citibank bullish above 53, and I'm going to be bearish below 51.25. Now we also had a big print on regional bank ETF KRE at $45.44, and another one at $46.31. So I'm going to be bullish above 47, and I'm going to be bearish below 45 for KRE. Okay, now let's go to technology stocks. Now, before we get to that, I spotted very unusual prints on these ETFs that probably most of you have never heard of, okay? VT. This is the Vanguard Total World Stock Index ETF. It sounds like the whole world. It kind of is. I mean, it's got JP Morgan, Berkshire Hathaway, ExxonMobil, Johnson & Johnson, Google, Bank of America, Facebook, Apple, and Microsoft. Top holdings. And 3.3 million printed down here. Okay? So we are well above that. The big question is this the splash right? A lot of times you get big prints, it splashes in one direction, and then it might come back and retest the print. If it retests it and then bounces up again, that's very bullish. If it comes down and breaks below it, that is going to be uber bearish. Okay, so watch that. Key level $62.78 was the print. I'm not going to trade VT. I will trade the other stocks in it though. And there's another one, ACWI, another ETF that you've probably never heard of, an index fund, okay? And it's got all these major players in it: Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, JP Morgan, ExxonMobil, Google, Facebook, J&J, and the India ETF, which I thought was really interesting, top holdings. So this print also back here, okay? And when I started to see this last week, and those late dark pool SPY prints, it was such an easy buy. I mean, that was the signal. Highly unusual, 3.5 million print. So again, as long as we stay above here, that's bullish. But if we see another big print, I will definitely put it out on the dark pool app for you, okay? So stay tuned for that. VTI. Here's another ETF with all these stocks: Microsoft, Amazon, J&J, Facebook. And I'm going to be bullish above 128 and bearish below 123 for VTI. Also SPY-G, another ETF with all these stocks in it. I had prints as well, $32.26 to $32.30, 1 million in total. And we're going to be bullish above $32.50 and bearish below 32. Let's go to Apple. This was one of my favorite trades as well this week. So great. We had a really nice print on it at 150.90. I posted that out, and then we had another print at 151.72 and another one at 153.73, and we're above all of them. Okay, so that's bullish. However, you can see it had some resistance on Friday. So this week really needs to break above 157.50. That's a key level for me to go long once again, and bearish below 150.50. AMD, this was my favorite. Oh my gosh, was this good. This was so good. In order to avoid exititis, you just want to roll your options to the next 50 cents out of the money. That's exactly what I did all the way down here. My last trade I lost money on. And you know what? I did not have exititis. Normally, guys, I'm going to tell you, I would have been out right here on my short. See this? When it hit the 200, I would have got out and I wouldn't have been able to get in. It would have felt like chasing. But instead, I just kept rolling down the hill into the last 50-cent trade. I took like 6 or 7 trades on this. The last one didn't work out. So this week, I'm going to be bullish above 18.50, and I'm going to be bearish below 17 for AMD. Now, we had an interesting print on Netflix. We don't get too many of that. And I've drawn a trend line. And this looks really interesting. It's trying to break out of this downward trend. And it might succeed. We'll see. We had a dark pool print, 300,000. It wasn't the biggest one I've ever seen, but definitely worth noting. 259.99. And again, we're going to have a splash. But this week, I'm going to be bullish above 262.50 and bearish below 255. Right, those are pretty key levels. Yeah, if we do stay above this trend line, then we're good to go. Oh yeah, then there's a big trade on the upside. So this is why it's really key to watch Netflix. Okay, Facebook. Oh, Facebook was another great trade I took in the room off those prints that we had at $130.36. And you can see it popped really nicely. This week, we're going to be bullish only above 135 and bearish below 130. Here's an interesting one. Haven't seen a big print on Alibaba. Yeah, had a 1 million print this week at 139.15. So I'm going to be bullish above 140 and bearish below 137.50. Micron had some nice prints as well. And we're going to be bullish above 32.50 and bearish below 31. Now we're going to just go over to emerging markets. And you can see there was a lot of volume on Friday. Yeah, volume started to kick in. It started to break above this 8 exponential moving average. First time in a very long time. This is like, you know, my favorite trade is when it closes just above it for the first time. And every time we move far away from it, it always wants to retrace back. And then on the way up again is always a great time to enter. We had prints 37.55 and to 38.55, old prints from 2 weeks ago. So that's why this week I'm only going to be bullish above 38.75 and bearish below 37.50. We also had really big prints last week on VWO as well. That's the emerging market ETF, Brazil, Russia, India, China. Very similar to EEM. And we're going to be bullish above 38.75 and bearish below 37.50. Now just notice on my charts the purple lines are the bullish above, bearish below, and the red lines are my target exits. And it helps to keep them up on my chart so that I can keep track visually. And I highly suggest if you can put them on your charts to do that. It's much easier when you're trading to see that they're actually hitting these levels. FXI also had a million share print at 39.06. And yeah, I really love this setup. It's got a couple choices to make. It's either going to break above this 8 EMA and then start in another rally mode, or it's going to break down here below this 38.50 level. So I'm going to be bullish above 39.50 and bearish below 38.50. That's the China ETF. EWJ, Japan ETF. Also love how it's sitting on this chart. It's got a choice to make here, you know. Is it going to break above 51 or not? That's a really key level. So I'll be bullish above 51. If it starts to move down, I'll be bearish below 49.75. Why so far away? Well, we had prints 2 weeks ago, 49.79, and I'd like it to break below that. TLT, here's an interesting one. So we saw prints on Charles Schwab, which I posted out on Twitter and StockTwits. You can go and look at those. And they didn't appear anywhere else. And I thought that was really, really interesting. Yeah, that happens every once in a while. It's the real dark pool. TLT. And so we had prints at 120.60 and 120.91. Massive. So we're going to be bullish above 121.50. You know, is this kind of looks like a, let's see, I drew it. Kind of looks like a bull flag here, right? Yep, and there's the pole. So we have about $2, 121, 22, 123 target to the upside. So watch this 121.50 level on TLT. And I will turn bearish, of course, below 120. If it goes below the prints. So let's go to miscellaneous stocks, which I put in alphabetical order. And Alcoa's up at bat. Yes, we had an unusual 500,000 print. 26.20, and I'm going to be bullish above 27.50. And I'm going to be bearish below 26.25. AAL, this was such a great trade. I took this one on the short side. Remember we had those big prints at $32.15. Yes, of course you do. You remember that? Yeah, we had a little bit of a pop-up. So we had them over here. We had a little bit of a pop-up. And then guess what? We retested them, and it did not hold. And that's when you want to go short, guys. I had a strangle. I made a tiny bit on the long side. I lost a little bit on the other half. And then I made a lot on the short side. And I added on to my put side of the strangle with a 30 target. And you can see it bounced up again. Now, this is the interesting. If you missed that trade, don't worry. This is really good this week. I'm going to take another trade on this. I'm going to watch that 32.15 level. If we can break above 33, I'm going to go long. 35 is going to be my high-end target. Actually, 34.75. You want to get out before 35. Cut the line. I'm going to be bearish below 31. If it starts to come down again, okay, this is the key. This will be the second time it's testing 30. There's computers that were lined up to buy it here. The first time around, there's always going to be a lot of computers lined up. But guess what? The second time around, less buying, more of a chance it's going to break down and not hold the 30 level. And that's when we want to take this down to, like, I don't know, 25 possibly. We'll see. We'll see where the volume comes in, but of course I will scale out before we get to 25 if that happens. So it's being prepared on both sides of the trade. That's really the secret, you guys, because I don't know where it's going to go, but I know if it breaks above 30, 33, these are going to be my targets. If it breaks below, those are going to be my targets. So that's really, really important. So let's go to Budweiser. Yeah, before New Year's print. New Year's print right here for you. 65.77. 500,000 print. So we're going to be bullish above 67.20 and bearish below 65 for Bud. Caterpillar, I really love this one. Yeah, some of them have much better options than others. Budweiser doesn't really have the best options. But Caterpillar's pretty good. And big prints, 126.27. And that's not this past week, the week before. And we're still in that zone, so I love it. I'm going to be bullish above 127.50. And I'm going to be bearish below 122.50 for a Caterpillar. Let's go to Colgate. Palmolive. Yeah, CL had a really nice fat print. 820,000 shares at 60.05. So I'm going to be bullish above 60.50. I'd like it to break above that 8. And I'm going to be bearish below 59. Now here's one that I don't particularly care to trade, but I can't ignore the print. You just can't. Screaming at me. 11 million, guys, on GE. $7.49. Part of me is like, if it's buying, how come they haven't moved it up yet? Right? I mean, come on. I know it trades a lot, but we don't normally get 11 million printed in one trade. So I'm only going to be bullish above 775, and I'm going to be bearish below 725. So watch that one. Coca-Cola, another one that I took past couple weeks. This was phenomenal on the short side. Had seasonality, had sell prints, and I got out of my last roll here hitting 46. Now, I still think there's more room to go to the downside. It has not hit this 200 simple moving average, but somebody was buying it here. So I couldn't ignore that. This week, okay, I'm going to be bullish above 48. And I will turn bearish below 47, then possibly it'll run down there once again. So watch those levels. Paychecks. Yeah, Paychecks had a nice print. $65.40. So I'm going to be bullish above 65 and bearish below 64. Pfizer had a nice print as well this week. Bullish above, I'm sorry, last week the prints came in. I'm going to be bullish above 43.50. You can see kind of up thrusted there. It's got to break above that. And I'm going to be bearish below 42 for Pfizer. Now, I don't trade these pharmaceutical stocks too often. But if I do, I only use options. Please don't trade the stock. It could get halted at any time. There could be a drug that comes out that doesn't get approved, something. And I just don't ever want to see anybody lose a lot of money on these. So if you're going to trade these, please be careful. Again, options, don't go in big. And just keep your risk small. That's the secret to trading. When you keep your risk small, then the rewards are going to be really great. But, a lot of people out there just want to make $1 million on one trade, and they go all out, and that's really easy to lose all your money that way. So, again, the only reason I'm calling attention to these is because Teva had a 2.5 million print at 15.26. So, unusual, but I'm going to be trading the options if I get into this. And I'll be bullish above 16 and bearish below 15. Target had a nice print on that one last week, well, 2 weeks ago, at $65.13. And we're still in that level. So the question is, did it splash down and now it's going to move up? Or is it going to move back down again? And this is why I love it. Don't be in such a rush to trade these prints when they first come out. Give it some time to marinate it. Give it some time to breathe, splash, then jump on it, okay? It's the best advice I could give you guys. Don't be in such a rush. So I'm going to be bullish above 66.25, and I'm going to be bearish below 64. Let's go to WSC. We had a very nice print on this guy. And it already started moving. I was bullish above 920 on my alert. I know some of you took this trade, and I got a couple emails thanking me for it. But if you're not in it yet, bullish above 950. Okay, bullish above 950 and bearish below 875. The print happened at 895. And finally, one last trade, XLP. Yeah, XLP is an ETF. It's the Consumer Staples ETF. And we had a nice print on that, $49.73. Going to be bullish above 51, bearish below 49.50. So you guys, that's your last whisper for 2018. I'm really looking forward to 2019. So every week we have a trader of the week. It's the trader that not only makes the most money, some weeks it is, but so many times it's the trader that really helps everybody out. You know, I have a trading room that is phenomenal. It's just this community of traders that all want to give back. I've given so much to them over the years, and it comes back tenfold. I've learned so much from these traders. We have Elliott wave traders. We have Fibonacci traders. We have swing traders, day traders, futures traders. We have crypto traders. And, you know, not only have I shared my knowledge, but they've shared their knowledge with me. And that leads me to the Trader of the Year this year. I kind of need a drum roll. We got a drum roll somewhere? Maybe we'll put that in there. Goes to Leslie. Yes, Leslie from British Columbia. She's a Canadian, and she is phenomenal. Just a great, she's been with me for years, and you so deserve it this year. Her expertise is in volume spread analysis, and she's taught so many of us in the room how to follow VSA, and she's had the most phenomenal calls over the years. I mean, she's just so sharing and so giving. And not even that, she has every single old print on her chart. So whenever we're trading something, I was trading GDX a couple weeks ago and she yelled out there was this old print on it. I sold, and guess what? It dropped. And you know what, Leslie? You saved me so much money by yelling out that old print. And this is why I teach. You know, everybody asks me, why do you teach? Why don't you just sit and trade and just make all the money? Well, I used to do that, and then people yelled at me, well, what are you doing for society? You're just sitting there trading. You're not helping people. And so I started to teach people, and it was phenomenal. Not only did it feel good, but I taught so many great traders, and now they're giving back, and it's tenfold. So thank you so much, Leslie, for all your call outs this year. I love having you in my room, and congratulations. I think everybody in the Java Pit will agree that you deserve to be the Trader of the Year this year. So Happy New Year, you guys, and yeah, until next year, happy trading. That's my secret. Gonna keep it my secret. My secret.